Hey everyone, my name is Olt and welcome to Gameplay Disclosure, a new series that goes into the depths of levels in Geometry Dash and their interesting use of gameplay. Over the years, I've made more and more discoveries on how gameplay is put together and how to make it good. What I've also realized is that no one truly understands how to make good gameplay in the first place, which is exactly why I'm doing this. To begin, I want to briefly explain how the series is going to work. I'll be choosing a rated level, it can be any rated level, even ones chosen by you guys, and dissecting the gameplay within separate sections. These sections are chosen based on if the level makes a drastic change or not and are handpicked by me. I'll let the section play in the video and then discuss what could have been changed to make it better. The gameplay within these sections will be dissected into 10 different aspects. Blind gameplay, awkward gameplay, buggy gameplay, laggy gameplay, and random gameplay are the main aspects. These lower the overall quality of the level more than the other 5 aspects. These other 5 aspects include spammy gameplay, boring gameplay, confusing gameplay, repetitive gameplay, and unbalanced gameplay. While these hold less weight, these are still important aspects to pay attention to when dissecting the gameplay. If you're unsure of what some of these aspects mean, I'll have an explanation of them in the description so that you guys can see where I'm coming from. Lastly, the series is now meant to harass or send hatred towards anyone behind the gameplay in these levels. This is purely for helping people understand what they should and should not do when it comes to gameplay and levels. With that said, let's move on to the pilot episode of Gameplay Disclosure. Starting off with the first section, there's a few problems I can already dissect here. Firstly, this coin requires a key, which I consider to be a little too hidden due to how it blends in with the background, but that's more leaning to my opinion. However, this activation orb certainly has some weird gameplay behind it. Not only is it hard to see, but it's also a little bit awkward to hit. If it was made more clear on where that was going to be, this click would have definitely been better. So the first 20% isn't too bad, but you can definitely notice that there are some problems that you can easily dissect. This section is definitely better than the last one. One of the only issues that I have with this section is this one robot jump with these teleportation portals. The problem here is that these spikes only disappear when you go for the portals, which tends to confuse some players. While it isn't too problematic, it's still worth mentioning since it definitely did piss me off at some point. It would have been better to have it be more obvious that you need to go through those portals in the first place. Aside from this, the transition into this part is also slightly hard to read, but that doesn't become too much of a problem since most of it is auto. Overall, not a perfect section, but hey, at least it's better than the last one, right? This section by itself isn't that bad. It's more the coin that I have some problems with. To get the coin here, you have to grab this collectible. The only problem is that these saws move upwards at an unexpected point, which can get pretty tedious due to it being kind of awkward and blind. Another thing to do with the coin is this part with the UFO. If you grab this coin, there's an invisible upside down portal here, which has definitely caught me off guard a couple times. But once again, that's only because of the coin. If the coin had those moving saws either move faster or be higher up, and if that one upside down portal wasn't invisible, I would have been okay with this coin and this part probably wouldn't have had much bad about it in the first place. This is probably one of the most annoying sections in the level, if I had to be honest. The biggest problem lies within the obstructive decoration present in a duel. The bright flashing rainbow colors cause the player to get very confused on what's actually going on, along with it also being sort of blind due to how hard it is to see where you are. Another thing that bothers me here are these two black jump orbs. I don't know why, but these are so much more awkward to hit than the other ones. It isn't too big of a deal, but I did think it was important enough to include here. If the decoration in this part was lowered down a bit, and those black jump orb timings made more sense, this part would have been fine in my book, and might have even been really fun to play. This is probably tied as the worst section in the level. Similarly to section 4, there is an effect in the background that is very distracting for the player. Due to this, the entire rest of the level is very confusing and therefore not very fun. Another problem I have with this particular section is this wave with this collectible. Again with the collectibles. It's very hard and mostly awkward to actually get into here for this collectible. The coin itself is fine, but the collectible could have been a little more consistent. The background could have also been a little less intrusive by lowering the amount of it, or by making the gameplay clearer to see. If that was done, I think this part would have been good enough to pass as a pretty good section. I hope you all enjoyed this quote-unquote pilot episode of Gameplay Disclosure. I apologize for the microphone quality. I am recording this on a phone after all. But aside from that, I would love to hear your opinion on the series. You know, what I should change, what I did right, and maybe which levels you want me to disclose next. I will take your criticisms to heart and see if I can make more of these in the future. Also, just to be clear, I have nothing against Alexcont or any of his levels. This video is only meant to help people understand what to do to improve their own gameplay. I know I already said that at the beginning, but I don't trust this community enough to not mention it here. This was my first time reading from a script instead of doing my normal commentary, so I hope I did a good job. With that said, this has been Ulterativity, signing out. I hope you all have a great day. Let's stop using obstructive decoration, alright?